Hello, Clint here, Crimson Landscape, here to talk about your front landscape design. Alrighty, for your front landscape, your yard's big. You got a lot of front yard, so I wanted to do a little bit grander, a little bit more defined spaces, include lots of colors and textures. So make sure you have good colors throughout the season. I mixed a combination of curved beds with straight beds because I wanted to do something a little bit non-traditional for your yard, because your yard could go very modern or it can go more traditional. So I did a little bit of both. Let me start with the walk path. The walk path in the design provided by the architect was pretty plain. It needed something a little bit more grand by the front door. Since you have the steps, the wraparound steps, it needed to wrap around. It needed a bigger landing. So what this landing is, it just matched more to the front porch. And I included a couple of pots on both sides that we certainly can integrate with the irrigation system. And I'll show you in a second lights. With these are 4'6" squares, so basically it's a true square. A lot of people like to include the gravel on the outside. We just use steel edge with gravel. We have all this in gravel, then I embed lights in it. If you take the steel edge out and you just do the gravel in the gaps, it doesn't look quite as good because there's nothing holding the gravel in on each side. You'd have to go with a fat river rock, and it has to be cleaned and maintained and sprayed with Roundup, etc. Okay, if you did just grass in the middle, they would just cook. When the small spaces with grass, you can't water them enough because the grass in between the gaps just heats up too much. You're better off. You either do the gravel like I have here, or do a fat river rock, or just have it solid, one or the other. But I would definitely think about doing a grander front porch area. All right, moving to the landscape. Okay, right side of the yard, underneath this beautiful crepe myrtle, I just got variegated liripe, a little gravel walk path to the fence. Along the wall here, I have a sea green juniper. Then I did pink mollies here, turn a nice, pretty color pink in the fall. Rose Creek abelias in front. Simple. I only included one yucca in the entire property. This is one color guard yucca. Then just a simple evergreen shrub in front, which is a dwarf fuel pond holly, slow growing. As you can see, I did the gravel that connects to the house for that more modern look. This is catnip integrated with daylilies for pops of color. Then just a simple dwarf Burford holly in the back. I would go with a 7-gallon over a 3-gallon. All these I would just do 1 gallon. Save a little bit of money. Need some sort of tree here for this space. This is kind of a big blocky space. So I did a Wichita blue juniper. We could do a weeping redbud, or I wouldn't do a Japanese maple here. Probably gets too much sun. Or you could do a dwarf vitex if we can find it, which is a dwarf butterfly tree. They're just kind of hard to find. Okay, left side of the yard. Daylilies, so it matches. So you have some symmetry carry over from here. Symmetry with our daylilies. This right here is a weeping redbud. We can probably do a coral bark Japanese maple if you wanted a green leaf Japanese maple. Then I tied the abelias in over here. So abelias are over here. Then I tied them in over here. So I'm pretty sure this is probably going to be just about 100% shaded area. So I picked 100% shade plants. I did a dwarf blue Nantucket hydrangea. Have them at my house. A great plant. Holly ferns, wood ferns in the back. Wood ferns are going to be your traditional ferns you find in the Pacific Northwest or in Central America. Japanese maple, we talked about, and some varying colors of hostas, so they bloom different colors, textures, and heights, and then variegated liripe around the tree. Little walk path through here just to connect the two sides of the yard. Okay, dwarf Burford holly here, dwarf Yopon holly here and down here for symmetry. It also ties into the front. These are called Turk's caps. They're kind of a wild growing native Texas plant that has a really pretty red flower, but evergreen in front with something in back, so we get nice color texture. Big blue, giant liripe as filler until all this grows in. In the middle here we have spireas, bridal wreath spireas. These are fast growing. They get big and grow wild. Really pretty white flower in the fall. You really never have to trim them if you just want a big wild bush. Super fast grower. So I matched the other side down here. So this Yopon holly down here matches the Yopon dahlia down here. In the back, I did Mystic Blue Spirea, I believe it's called. Or we can do Mexican bush sage. Basically, I want a tall purple plant. Essentially, I'm going for that'll take the sun. So you get nice pop of color and spring and summer. Then you have your evergreen. All right, down here, I just retook the pink mullies again and added a tree. This tree is it could be a smaller crepe myrtle, or we could do if we can find it, a multi-trunk redbud. A lot of people like the pink redbud leaves in the spring. And I incorporated this border here for modern. So you see it goes modern to traditional all the way around the tree, traditional mixed in a smidge of modern, then a smidge of traditional. So this allows your property to stand out in the neighborhood. All right, a couple of tree ideas. This right here, this is a tree we certainly could put right here. This is called a slender silhouette sweet gum. It is deciduous if you want something tall. I didn't include it just for cost reasons. These are kind of expensive. I think they're like $350 a piece. We can do several of those. I have them at my house. They're a gorgeous, tall, skinny tree if you want some tall, skinny on the wall here. I wouldn't do like a juniper or anything like that. I would, if you want a tall tree there, I would do a sweet gum tree, a slender silhouette sweet gum. Yes, they have little Chinese balls that you don't like. Excuse me, but they balls drop straight to the ground around the tree. I never have any drama with mine. Then, like I said, in the front here, you could do a coral bark Japanese maple, which is what this is right here. There's a evergreen holly we could stick here as well. If you just wanted a traditional, taller, triangular-shaped holly, we could stick here. All right, go back to the grass. So you can see all the grass around the yard. I would probably do, since you have St. Augustine, your neighbor has St. Augustine, you probably want to stick with St. Augustine. Or you can stick or go with Bermuda. If you want to save a little bit of money, you could probably get away with Bermuda in your yard. But if you want to go high end on the grass, then definitely the best zoysia is Zoysia Palisades. Last thing I'll talk about is lights. So we can go crazy on lights. So you can see the crepe myrtle has lights, 2 lights here, lights behind the house, lights in the front, lights in the walk path here. These look really good. Lights under the trees over here, and lights down the side of the house. So the lights itself, you can add, basically we can add as many lights as you want to the property. It depends on how bright you want the property. It's going to be a 2700 Kelvin, which is going to be a slightly yellower color. It won't be that commercial neon bright white. All the lights we sell are color changing RGBW lights, which means you just take a remote control up to the light, you hit a button, it changes. So my house, since I'm a veteran, my son's a veteran, my wife's a veteran, it's red, white, and blue, red, white, and blue, red, white, and blue, red, white, and blue, and we change it for the season. All right. Let me pause here, let you assess this design, provide me some feedback. We can do a Zoom call to go through the details. And if you're a first-time guest, you're checking out our designs, you can reach out to us with questions at crimsonlandscape.com.